Ladies and gentlemen, imagine, for a moment, a map of global power. For the better part of a century, its key landmarks have been financial capitals, military bases, and the pipelines of oil and gas that thread between them. But today, a new front has been opened, not in a distant ocean or a strategic strait, but in the dusty, sun-scorched hills of the West African Sahel. Here, in Burkina Faso, a quiet revolution is underway, one that is fundamentally rewriting the rules of international influence. This is not a conflict fought with tanks and missiles, but with contracts, concessions, and the relentless pursuit of a single, ancient element: gold. This is the Gold War, a pivotal but often overlooked struggle where the very bedrock of the nation is becoming the catalyst for a dramatic shift in the global balance of power. This transformation is driven by a profound and legitimate hunger for sovereignty. For decades, the immense mineral wealth beneath the soil was perceived by many citizens to flow through channels carved by former colonial powers and international corporations, with too little of its value remaining to build local prosperity. This widespread disillusionment created a powerful mandate for change, a demand for a New Deal that would finally place national interests first. This domestic fervor did not go unnoticed. It created a strategic opening, a vacuum of influence that new global actors were poised to fill, not with the old models of conditional aid and diplomacy, but with entirely new forms of engagement. Russia and China have emerged as the primary architects of this new reality, each wielding a distinct and potent strategy. The Russian approach, often facilitated through shadowy private military entities, offers a starkly simple bargain: security in exchange for influence. By providing tangible assistance in combating internal threats, it builds a debt of dependency, which is then leveraged for preferential access to the country's most valuable resource portfolios. It is a transaction that binds a nation's security to its economic future, creating a deeply intertwined relationship. China, in contrast, pursues a longer, more structural game through its Belt and Road Initiative. Its currency is not security, but infrastructure: dams, roads, railways, and energy projects. By building the essential arteries of the economy, China embeds itself deeply into the nation's development, fostering a relationship of mutual economic benefit that naturally prioritizes Chinese access to strategic resources like gold, which is vital for technology and fortifying financial reserves against global uncertainty. The consequences of this pivot are reverberating across the globe. First and foremost, it represents a stunning erosion of traditional Western hegemony in a region long considered within its sphere of influence. The classic tools of soft power, diplomatic pressure, and development aid are proving ineffective against the immediate, tangible benefits offered by these new suitors. This is not just a loss of diplomatic face, it has severe economic ramifications. Western mining giants, once the dominant forces in the extractive industries, are now facing revised contracts, nationalization efforts, and exclusion from future projects, rerouting the flow of capital and the geopolitical influence that accompanies it. Perhaps most significantly, this new competition has granted resource-rich nations like Burkina Faso unprecedented agency. They are no longer passive players, but strategic actors, adeptly playing competing global powers against one another to secure the most favorable terms. This strategy of multi-alignment allows them to negotiate for better deals, demand infrastructure, and secure a more respected position on the international stage, fundamentally transforming the dynamic from one of patronage to one of negotiated partnership. Yet, for all its potential, this Gold War is fraught with peril. The dangers of swapping one form of dependency for another are very real. Aligning closely with a single powerful partner whose long-term intentions may be unpredictable carries immense risk. Furthermore, the intense focus on raw resource extraction can become a trap itself. Without the parallel development of local refining capabilities, manufacturing, and a diversified economy, the nation risks remaining a supplier of raw materials, vulnerable to commodity price swings. The true test will be whether the wealth generated can be harnessed to build a resilient, self-sustaining future for its citizens. In conclusion, the story unfolding is far more than a local news headline. It is a potent symbol of a new world order taking shape. The competition for gold and other critical resources is the engine of this change, demonstrating that in the 21st century, power is not just about who has the largest army, but who secures the partnerships that control the essential elements of our technological and economic future. The outcome of this quiet war in the Sahel will offer enduring lessons on the nature of sovereignty, the realities of modern power, and the profound truth that sometimes the most decisive battles for global influence are fought not over ideologies, but over the very ground beneath our feet.